In today's video, we're going to go through how I organise my kit room. When I posted my first video saying that I was starting YouTube, I had an old friend of mine, Freddie Frantos, really cool guy. He messaged me saying, one topic I'd love if you can discuss in the future is go through your kit list as a photographer slash videographer, how you manage to organise, assemble and transport. So that's what I want to cover today. I want to be able to go through how I kind of like do all of this, how I transport it, and go through pretty much everything. I've got all these racking systems from Amazon. These racking systems was the first thing that I got in here so I could make sure that all my kit could stay safe and well organized, because at the end of the day, I feel like if my kit room's a mess, then I just don't feel like I've got everything ready that I might need to for a shoot. I feel like the state of my kit room reflects me as a person or my workflow as a person, and I try and keep everything kind of like in order, in like kind of in a tidy state. There might be other ways to organize it, but this is how I'm doing it so far, and it might change, I'm not sure. To start with the video, I am going to grab my R5. Let's hit roll on this. You can see here we've got my C200 Atomos Ninja, my Sackler legs, and then we've got my Aperture 120D lighting me up sandbag that I also use as a doorstop. And when I find something, if I find something that I want to talk about specifically, I'll kind of pull it up on this little table here. But yeah, so here we go. We'll first pick up on my rock and roller. Hopefully it fits on this little table. Just about. This right here is my rock and roller. This is the Rock and Roller Multicart Stealth. I don't know if you can see that, but I will have a picture of this on how I use it. Let me see if I can do this. It essentially folds up like that. You basically open these guys up. I used to have like a little pulley trolley system, like it was a beach buggy that you take on the beach with all your other stuff. So I used to load my kit up in there, and then unfortunately that broke on a shoot. The handle actually came away. So I thought, might as well just invest into something proper now, because all my kit was getting heavier and bigger, and I was taking a lot more kit to shoots, and I needed something that was gonna hold the payload of all my kit and also be efficient enough to fold down, chuck in the car, use on the other side when I get to a shoot. What I've also got for this trolley, this is this grip and gaff bag. Now this hooks onto the front like so. It is a lot easier when this is on the floor. This is my grip and gaff bag, and what it does, it sits on the front or the back. It can slot onto each of the sections, and you throw all of your stands, all of your tripods or whatever grip that you want to throw in there, any other accessories, it basically just goes in there. So with the rock and roller, it works really well for me to transport to shoots, because it not only means that I can take it downstairs to my car in the car park, but I can now go on the other side when I arrive to a shoot. I'll just load everything back on and wheel it into location. Then we have my Westcott Ice Light. This I got probably back in like 2015 maybe, when I first started. And then next up we just have a broncolor bag. This just has 3 Manfrotto light stands in there. Not that interesting, but I got those a part of my broncolor 3-head kit. Now my favorite light of the bunch is my Aperture Nova. You can see how I'm just kind of like dumping everything I've talked about outside, just because there's not that much space in here. But yeah, here we go. This is just my Nova, my favorite light of all of my lights, and if I can take it to a shoot, I will. Now we're done with the Nova, we'll kind of go through all of this area and how I go about it. So when organizing this, I did think what goes on what shelf. So I try to organize it in a way where whatever's on my eye level is what I kind of need the most. So in this area, we've got all my lenses. Then in this area, what usually sits here is my Canon R5. But behind that, we've got one of my 5D3s and my second 5D3 with a battery grip on it. Next to that, we have my Sony a7 III, Sony a6500, bunch of batteries for Sony, Canon batteries, big batteries for pretty much all of my stuff. Next to that, we have my Ronin S. On top, we just have some more LP6 batteries, and over there we have a bracket handle for my Ronin. I use this all the time. I use this as a second handle, so my Ronin will be on this side, the camera will be up there somewhere, and my left hand will be holding this, and I usually have my Ninja on top of this area here. So I've just taken the Ronin out, but what we had behind the Ronin is this case here. When I shoot on location and I might shoot outside, I kind of need somewhere to put my laptop when I'm tethering. So this is a specific case that allows me to do that. And what I'll do, I'll add a picture here to show you what the kind of setup is. You can mount it, there you go. So your tripod goes straight into that. This allows you to then just have your laptop sat in there, and it's got like cable management areas where you can feed the tethering cables out, chuck your hard drives in here in the back. But then above this area, we have some crop clips, some other clamps, and just stuff that kind of throw into bags whenever I'm packing them. If I ever need to take gels, if I ever need to put diffusion on my lights, these guys always come with. Then up here, we've got some bags. We have my low pro bag, some Manfrotto bag, my Manfrotto big bag, and I can fit so much into this, it's unreal. I'll throw some pictures and videos up now. This is my Broncolor 3-head Cirrus S lights, the 800 watt versions. That's kind of that up there. What I'll do, I'll go through this whole area first, and then we'll come on to these areas. What we've got here is just a few lanyards for shoots that I've been on. Most of them are for Getty. So yeah, this is a shoot from them. This was back in the day when I used to work for a production company. We shot Victoria's Secret show in 2016. Just some of the bits, I probably shouldn't have this one. Yeah, I was working with my buddy Sean. Shooting a festival. Here we go. Let's move on. So we now have a few boxes. There's no point going through it all because I hardly ever use this kit. This is basically kit that I sometimes use, but not enough to leave it out. Then we have my haze machine. It's not the most expensive one, but it does the trick. It creates that atmosphere that I need in my videos sometimes, and it comes on a lot of my kind of like campaign or bigger shoots that need that atmospheric look. And instead of renting it constantly, it was like 90 quid on eBay. I was just like, I'm just gonna buy it because it's an investment for me. I will use it a lot more. And next to it over there is just some of the liquid. Then on top of here, what I usually keep is my Atomos Ninja. And then we'll come down to this little 2x2 frame. I use that quite a lot. A bit annoying to travel with sometimes, to be honest, but you kind of just deal with it. Then we have my Low Pro X100, then my Peli Case 1610 that usually has my C200 kit in it. This is just a random carrier bag, apologies for the rustling, that's got a load of dividers in there. We've got my Low Pro X300. Then in that corner there, I don't know if this will focus, it's a bit long to get out, but I don't ever use them anymore. These are just some redheads from eBay. They were really good, and then they all blew. Couldn't be bothered to replace the bulbs or the fuses. And now we have my Pegboard, which is basically for keeping cables and other knickknacks that I need regularly out of this area here and out of this area here. So we've got a 10 meter HDMI, we've got a 10 meter SDI behind it, we've got a couple of other HDMI cables behind that I don't really know the lengths of and I don't really use, but it's just pretty much the two 10 meters that come on set with me. We've got a couple of older XLRs that I don't really use, I just use the ones that are in my Peli case. We've got some bungee cords, we've got my other Aperture MC, some gaffer tape. Usually I've got my black and white one here, but I've run out of my black and I need to get some more. But yeah, my white's currently in my Peli 1610, my C200 case. We've got my tethering cables for when I'm shooting stills. And then we've got my Joby GorillaPod, and that's going to be getting used a lot more now that I'm going to be doing kind of like behind the scenes. And then we've got an Insta360X, I think it is. I think that's what it's called. There's just the kit there. I didn't actually want to keep this. I bought it because I was shooting a wedding and I wanted to add something a little bit different. And I really liked it, so I just kept it and I didn't want to keep it. But yeah, I was like, I might be able to use this for other gigs, other shoots. Then plain and simple, we've just got a printer, some tools, which basically consist of bits and bobs that I usually take on set. We've got rocket blower, screwdrivers, glycerin for when I'm doing gym shoots, some products, tape measure, and some, I think there's some fishing line, wood blocks and other new products. And also at the bottom, we've got some velvet gloves. Whenever I'm shooting a product like a bottle of whiskey or something, I don't really want to be touching it with my hands and leave fingerprints, so I wear these velvety gloves to eliminate the risk of getting more and more fingerprints. Behind that we have a Kenner air duster. This is some mattifying spray. really good stuff whenever I'm doing products. Below that stuff, we have my ND filters, and we've got adapter rings, we've got variable NDs, we've got a load of stuff that can help me expose properly on mirrorless. And then we've got some SD cards, nothing really exciting, C200 accessories, so main power, other bits and bobs that came in the box that I don't need all the time, live somewhere where I know they're safe. In this little area, we have my new shotgun mic. I'll be using this when I'm doing like behind the scenes and other kinds of videos. Then we've got Canon R5 mains power. At the moment, this is where my second Sennheiser G4 kit lives. Nothing that exciting there. That doesn't belong there. I've just moved that while we're doing this video. And then below those boxes there, we've got my charging station. So what I've done is I've thrown a massive 4 or 5 gang extension so I can house all of my chargers. So we've got V-Lock charger, C200 charger, LP6 charger now for my 5Z3s and my R5, AA, AAA charger, and then the charger for the NW970s. That's just a load of dead batteries that I'm still charging. What I've also got in this area, this is I feel like I'm losing my breath. What I've also got in this area is my hold-fast camera strap. That's pretty much just for weddings. I don't really use that elsewhere. Whenever I am shooting, like, I don't know, going on holiday, whatever, I usually take this, I think it's an owner strap. This is the only thing when I went to New York a couple of years ago that I got from B&H. Then beneath that, we've got my 2 Aperture 120Ds, my 300D. I am looking to sell this. I think I've already sold it to someone, and that will be getting replaced with a 600D. Got 2 reflectors, 2 different sizes. This is huge, this is small, and there is just a little LED panel, a little newer LED panel that I can just quickly set that up and kind of leave it somewhere wherever needed. And then the main bit of kit that I use a lot is my washing machine. Living by myself, this is obviously a compromise I had to make where I had to work around the utilities essentially in the room. So we've obviously got my boiler, my meter and all of that stuff in there, and my washing machine. It's not ideal because that is just wasted space for me, but obviously I need to keep that. So what I've done, I've tried to keep all of these boxes, these kind of like big plastic boxes, to help bundle things together that belong together. So in here, we've not got anything that special, but we've got a couple of magic arms, the Manfrotto magic arms with super clamps either side. They're solid, they come on pretty much most productions, most shoots with me. We've got a big black tarp in there, so whenever I'm going on shoots and I know I need to block light out, block windows, that's there. We've got sandbags, we've got some CTO, we've got the Lee Saturates pack whenever I'm doing gelled work. We've got some shiny silver card, we've got some gold card in there somewhere, I don't know if you can see that. And that's for whenever I'm shooting products. We've got some strip boxes, some Bowens mount strip boxes, 2 of those, and there's just some other bags in there that's not really that important. What I'm doing at the moment, I'm kind of like replacing bits and bobs of this kit. I'm going through what I don't like about my kit room, selling it and replacing it. So with the sandbags that I've got, my gaffer Riaz has told me, obviously after I've made these sandbags, that a tip or a trick is to, instead of just put the sand straight into the sandbag, put it into a couple of Ziploc bags and then put it into the sandbag, because these sandbags that I've currently got leak everywhere. Whenever I'm traveling somewhere, I just see a trail of sand following me, or even in my car, my boot is just full of sand sometimes, and it's a bit annoying. So yeah, these guys are gonna move to the studio and live there, and I'll get new ones to replace and do the whole Ziploc technique. Beneath that, we have my C-stand legs moving up into this area. So when I first moved in here, there was no shelves, there was nothing here, there was no organization. There wasn't, yeah, it was just a blank canvas, blank wall. So what I did, shameless plug, I got my brother, Man-Made Furniture, to build me some shelves and attach it to this wall so I could utilize this area, because I couldn't find a racking system that would work in this area, fit from this washing machine to the wall and work for me, because there's pipe work there. So I just got Rick to basically make me this shelving unit. So we've got Aperture light dome, that's the Mark II. We've got my Sackler bag. I can take this out whilst I'm talking about this because my Sackler Flowtech is there. And then we've got 4 Pixar Pro C-stands. Now I am replacing these as well because the legs are actually quite wide. They're quite big whenever I'm on set. And when I use other brands of C-stands, their legs tend to be a little bit closer in. They tend to take up less space. And when I'm traveling and when I'm on location, sometimes having less space is a lot better because you still get the stability of a C-stand. But yeah, these are going to the studio. So after the C-stands, we've got my Nova softbox, my Aperture Nova softbox. And then even though I've sold my Profoto B1 location kit, I've kept the deep umbrella. I love this thing. It just creates a light I don't know how else to create. So I've kept that. And then in this corner as well, we just have a few rolls of diff. I tend to buy Lee 216 because it's just a full stop of diff. It softens the light like no other. When I'm shooting with products, that always comes with me. I always use diffusion when it comes to products because I hate seeing the shape of the modifiers catch light in the product. And then in this corner we just have some CTO, we have some fire red, and I can't remember the name of that, I'll throw it up on the screen. It was just for a music video that I shot ages ago. Okay, in the bin we have broncolor modifiers, we have my 150 octabox, we have 60x60 softbox, just a square, we have my 30x120, so a strip light, we've got my 60x100 softbox, we've got my 75 octabox. Now the 60x60 and the 75 octa came with my 3-head setup. What else we have in here is my Vanguard tripod. Now this tripod I actually started with. This is the first tripod I think I actually bought. At the time of buying this, I bought it without the head because I wanted to do video and photo, so I knew I needed both kinds of heads. I needed a fluid head and a stills head. So what I use this for now though is that tethering case that I showed you. I use this tripod to put the case on, and whenever I'm using this on location, this always comes with me. And then we've got some black wrap, some light stands, other tripods. We've got my carbon fiber Manfrotto tripod with my geared head on it. This I use for products all the time. And then we have reflector holders, nothing exciting, just bits and bobs that I have to have whenever I'm doing my kind of shoots. And then to finalize it, we have my shelving. Now we've got an extension drum. I have 2 of these, one's currently at the studio. We have a junior to baby pin, some paper for the printer, business cards, clamps in there that it's actually empty. I don't even know why I've still got that box. We've got 2 aperture Fresnels, 2 wall plates. Now this is a Bowens to Profoto mount. Now I used to use this when I had my Profoto kit. I need to swap this and get the Bowens to Broncolor mount so I can use my 150 octabox and all these other Broncolor modifiers with my aperture lights. We have a Broncolor speed ring in here, a snoot, a Bowens snoot. I used this once, it's actually pretty crap. I don't know why I've still got it. These are some Bowens to Profoto mount adapters where I needed to put my Bowens strip boxes at the time on my Profoto heads to create that rim light. Above that we have an aperture space light, and then we've got my aperture barn doors. I've got 3 of these, one's probably in one of those bags, I don't know which one. And then above that we have a spare Manfrotto fluid head that just lives there for whenever I'm using sliders. We have my old photography head, my Vanguard head. So this used to live on my, where is it? On my Vanguard tripod down there. Just a Lee filter book that shows you all the filters that they've got. I use that quite a lot whenever I'm picking colors for a shoot. We've got some Atmos spray. Now, I bought these before I got my haze machine. It's just basically atmosphere in a can, and essentially, if I spray some now, this doesn't set off fire alarms. So you can see, I mean, I've overdone it obviously, but you can see the difference of how this makes your image look. In this little area, we have my, this is actually quite funny. Oh, for fuck's sake, it does set off a fire alarm. That's embarrassing. I obviously thought that those atmosphere cans don't set off fire alarms, and they do. Whoops. My old school video fluid head. Now, when I first started getting into, let me put this here. When I first started getting into video, I had that Vanguard tripod. I had this pistol head as my first head, and then I bought this because I was thinking, yeah, sweet, this is gonna do the job. It's gonna take my shots to the next level. And I keep this purely for memorabilia and to remember where I started. And then that's pretty much it for kit. So we have my iron, we have some laundry stuff, we have some loo roll, we have some towels, and I think that's it, to be honest. I think that's everything I kind of keep in here in this utility room. But to come back to Freddie's question where he asked how I organise, assemble and transport kit, it all comes down to your specific shoots really, because a lot of this kit is perfect for location work, and now I'm currently building my kit in another way where it's going to be for studio work. Now, even though I take majority of this kit to studios, it's not the same kit that I would rent from a studio. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm currently in the process of investing into wind-ups, scaff poles, bigger clamps, bigger rigs and bigger bits of grip that are going to help me in the long run for whenever I need to set something up in the studio. Have a look at your kit, have a look at how much kit you've got, have a look at the area you're trying to organise, and try and just keep everything in a neat and tidy way. Pick up some of these racking units, they're like 40 or 50 quid, they weren't that expensive. And then have a look at these kind of boxes that we've got here. Just try and keep things organised in a way where you know where they are. And in terms of assembly, I guess that all happens at shoot. So I'll test the kit, I'll make sure it all works when I'm in my flat, when I'm here, I'll run through everything, make sure it's all working before I go to a shoot. And then for transportation, every shoot requires different kit. So I could be taking a full cartload of kit, or I could be taking one bag. So when it comes to transportation, I chuck it all in my rock and roller cart, head down to the car, load it all up. I definitely need a van soon. I should definitely invest into a van because my Golf just isn't big enough sometimes. And this isn't kit that I've got overnight. This is kit that I've slowly invested into over time. I started this in 2014, 2015, and I think this was my first actual professional bit of kit that's started to make me money, the 5D3. And then I slowly built my kit room. I slowly built all of the bags, all of the lenses, all of the everything else that a job required. I think it all comes down to you and your space. Like, this is the area I had, and this is how I've currently got it set up and kitted out. So this might change. I'm still learning, I'm still figuring things out on how to organize and stuff, and it constantly changes. And the only bit of advice I'd give is try and make things in your area for organization as tidy as possible. Try and stay on top of things. If you finish a shoot at 8 PM and you've got another shoot, you know, early the next morning, then unfortunately you're just gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to tidy up a little bit. You're gonna have to reset, repack. That's just part of the job. And at the beginning, I used to hate it. I used to hate having to repack after a shoot, but now I've learned to love it because I'm working in a nice and clean environment. To summarize this video, I know this looks like a lot of kit, but there's still so much that I need to get, that I want to get, that is going to help my production. And in my personal opinion, it's all about investing into yourself and investing into your business. And if you do need any help, drop me a shout, drop me an email, drop me a message, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, I'm here to help.